Leadership isn't just changing, it's evolving in ways we're only just beginning to imagine. And women, we're not playing this game anymore. We're the ones reshaping the entire field, building models, movements, and businesses that serve more than just a few. On the She Leads podcast, you'll hear real conversations with women who've broken through all kinds of barriers: revenue, identity, borders, and expectations. There's no sugarcoating here, just the truth, told by those who are living it. I'm Adrienne Garland, entrepreneur, strategist, educator, and creator of live experiences, gathering women leaders together for over a decade. And this is the She Leads podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the She Leads podcast. I'm so excited to introduce my next guest to you. Her name is Dr. Tamara Nall, and she is incredible. I cannot wait for you to hear from her. She's the founder and CEO of The Leading Niche, which is an award-winning global firm that specializes in big data, machine learning, and AI. She's also a trailblazer in ethical AI, cultural legacy, and naming traditions. And she's redefining how we think about identity, technology, and generational impact. Dr. Nall is also the visionary behind Junia, a cultural innovation introducing JN dot as a feminine equivalent of JR dot Junior for daughters named after their mothers. Oh gosh, I love this so much. This reimagines how legacy and lineage are honored. Dr. Nall is a philanthropist, a scholar, and former presidential appointee with degrees from Harvard, George Washington University, Georgia Tech, and Emory. Let's talk about the power of naming, how identity shapes legacy, matriarchal storytelling, AI inputs, entrepreneurship, and everything else under the sun. Welcome to the She Leads podcast, Dr. Nall.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Adrienne, for having me. And I am looking forward to the conversation. There's so much to talk about, so I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to talk to you. And this is a little bit of time in the coming because last time that we tried to speak, I had major technical problems with my little podcast here. So I'm so excited to speak with you. Let's start with your background, just because you have really done so much to educate yourself at these incredible institutions. So, talk to me about that journey through education for you. I am an educator myself. I teach at Rice University, I teach at NYU. So, I'm just especially interested in that journey. And then all of that knowledge, you've taken that and turned it into something incredible. So, we'll get there. But let's start with your journey.
My journey. So I grew up in the deep South. So I grew up in Alabama and in Georgia and had the most wonderful childhood you can imagine, with a lot of love and
Aw.
comfort, etc. My parents never told us to make good grades, but I always wanted to make my father proud. So that's kind of, what we did. But one thing that came from my upbringing was that there are a lot of things that can be taken away from you, but education and what's in your brain cannot.
Mm.
And so there was always this focus on education. I did go to Emory University, the Guys What a Business School in Atlanta, Georgia. And quite honestly, I applied to a number of universities, but my mom worked there, so we got to go tuition free.
Oh
So
my
that
God, that's
kind
incredible. Wow.
so that helped. And
Yes.
then one day I was just looking through the academic catalog and I noticed that Emory had a dual degree program with Georgia Tech. And I love all things science, STEM, mathematics, anything that can get my brain going. And I went to go talk to my counselor at Emory and told her my plans. And she said, well, you're a female
Oh
and you're a
God.
Black female, so you should just do liberal arts and don't
No,
worry
she
about.
did not.
Yes, I was told that. I was told that. And I said, oh my gosh, you're so helpful. Thank you so much. And I left. And that night I applied to the dual degree program.
Good for you.
So, I mean, I'm not saying it's the best strategy, but I have found in life when people tell me no, I'm always like, okay, I'm just going to show you.
Yeah.
Did that. And while there were people that graduated through Emory University, I was the first to graduate with a dual degree program through the business school.
Oh my
So
gosh.
to get that degree. So while other people were taking some electives, I'm taking computer science and all of that. So I went to Georgia Tech. And then after I graduated from Tech, I went to go work for a large management consulting firm, Booz and Company,
That's
worked
right.
for a subsidiary of Booz Allen Hamilton.
Mhm.
And quite honestly, there were very few Black partners there.
Yeah.
And all of them, if, with the exception of one person, went to the Harvard Business School.
Hmm.
So in my mind, that is the only place that I could go and become a partner at the firm.
Yep.
That's just how I saw it. Now, was that true? No, but that's just how I saw it in my young professional mind.
Mhm.
So, and then there, you had to go to business school
Yep.
or get your master's within 2 years, or else you were fired. So it's an
Mm.
up or out system. So that kind of helped. And so I went there. It's the only school I applied to because, again, in my mind, I'm thinking I can't go anywhere else and be successful.
Yeah.
So I went there, applied, and got there. And then during COVID, I
Mhm.
decided to get my doctorate in
Wow.
engineering
Oh my
and
gosh.
with a focus of machine learning and AI.
Smart.
And I did that because, as you mentioned in my bio, I am the CEO of a federal contracting company.
Mhm.
And we went after some work at a public health agency, and I'm not going to say which one. And we actually were down selected. We were one of three,
Hmm.
but we did not win the bid. And someone whom I know, who knew someone who knew someone, told me that of the three finalists, I was the only CEO that did not have a PhD or a doctorate.
You're
Now,
kidding.
again, it's not because you necessarily had to, but that was one difference that was called out. And
Mm.
I said, never again did I
Mm.
want to be in a position where we were not selected because I, as the CEO, the founder, the leader of an organization, couldn't get it because of my credentials. So I
Mm.
decided to then, use that feedback and go get it. And it was not easy, running a company and the
No.
companies and, being at home during the pandemic, but I did it and I'm proud. And so that was kind of my academic journey.
So, I just wanna ask a couple of questions, and it's actually coming from a personal perspective because I think to myself all the time that I wanna pursue a PhD, and then I think about all the work and, then I reconsider it. When you did the PhD, it was all online during COVID?
It was
Oh,
2 years. It was a 2-year program. It was
wow.
all online because it had to be. And I
Yeah.
think that it's continued that way. So it was all day, every Saturday for 2 years,
Oh
pretty
my gosh.
much.
Yeah.
And, you had homework and tests and quizzes throughout the week.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it was easy. It was
No.
not. But what I found is that I believe in education and
Me
I
too.
believe people should get it. And so in my mind, I'm the kind of person, if I look at something that's really hard, I just say, just do it, just start.
Yep.
Like get in it.
Mm,
And then you have to finish it. You know what
mm.
I'm saying? If you
Yes.
can. So that's what it was. There were times like, oh, then that is now a good time. And then there was a year delay
Mhm.
where I kind of procrastinated, missed the deadline, then was kind of happy I missed the deadline. And then I just said, let's just do it. And then once I was in, I just had to do it.
You had to do it.
I just had to
It's
do it.
what you're describing is also very much the entrepreneurial journey, right?
Yes. Mhm.
You kind of
Gotta
like
jump in.
you gotta jump in, you gotta
Right.
decide when you start something, you gotta finish it, right?
Right, right, and when we say jump in, you do need to have some strategy
Sure.
about it. You cannot jump in blind,
No.
but, what I'm saying is don't delay, do something.
Yes, right,
Whatever
take
that task is,
action.
do something. Yeah, the
Yes,
action.
yes. Oh, this is so, so good. I
Mhm,
and,
mhm.
one other comment that I just wanna make, I don't know what the statistics are, but I just kind of feel like it's rare for CEOs to have PhDs. And
Yeah.
when you said that, I was very surprised because I don't really know many CEOs that actually have PhDs.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't need it. Like I could still the company is still successful. I still have
Of
my
course.
employees, they're still going. I didn't need it. But I also remember I said that when someone tells me no or there's some obstacle, I'm like, well, I'm gonna show you.
Yes.
So it was kind of like a show you move.
I will show you. I
So
get
that's
it.
what, yeah. And then also I attended a church in New York, and every year they acknowledge graduates from daycare all the way up.
Aw.
And I received an honorary doctorate from a Lutheran seminary in Atlanta. And I told my pastor at the time, and he was like, "Okay." So he gets up and he was like, "I want everybody who has an earned degree to stand up."
Oh, no.
Yes, and I was like,
That's
"Okay." So that's another thing. My sister tells me all the time, "You and you're," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna show you."
Wow,
But
that's like kinda hitting below the belt there,
yeah, it
pastor.
was. But I used it. You know what? I use it, and that's probably what he was doing too. I
Yes.
used it
Okay,
as
we'll
fodder.
go with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Maybe it was that reverse psychology that worked.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah. Mhm.
So talk to me about the leading niche. What
Yes.
is it that the leading niche does? I know that you work in the field of healthcare. So can you talk to me and the audience about everything that it is that your company does?
Yes. So we've been around for 18 years and we've been in the
Amazing.
federal government for over a decade. My first contract was actually in West Africa. We beat
Oh,
a large consulting firm because I committed to hire a third of the workforce locally and make sure that they
wow.
were employed. I believe that whatever environments you're in, we have to give back to the environments that we live, work, and serve in. So
Yes.
I'm committed to that. The leading niche is a systems integrator. So our customers are, CDC, NIH, the VA, the Navy, drug enforcement. So at some point, whether we're a prime or a subcontractor, we are helping like the everyday, American, if you will.
Mhm.
And we really have impacted all 330 million of them with the work that we do at CDC. And it just runs the gamut. A lot of our work is looking at unstructured data to
Mm.
make sense of it, to put it in
Mm.
layman terms, because these agencies sit on a lot of information, a lot of data.
Yeah.
And there's always this question of how can we use the data to improve the lives of our stakeholders?
Oh.
And so that's what we do. We also do a lot of, public health communications. We do a lot of linguistic support to take down different efforts that are
Mhm.
going on. We work on some really, really, really neat things,
Mm.
for the Navy, etc. But at the end of the day, there's a person behind
Yeah.
all of it, whether that's the coder that's coming up with the LLMs and the analysis that we're doing. At the end of the day, we're a group of people who live and love and breathe. And so I, as a CEO, spend a lot of time on like culture. I have employees in over, 12 different states, and
Mm.
we're a remote team unless you have to work at the customer site. We were remote before the pandemic because
Mhm.
I was always the person that says, I want the very best person. You can work from Mars, just do good work.
Mm.
So I spend a lot of time, me personally, on the vision, the strategy, and culture, and making sure that we create an environment where, although we're remote, we can, have initiatives in place as if we work together in the same office every day.
Mm. I love this so much, and I wanna give that, like, room to breathe because I feel like so many leaders need to hear that. You know,
Mhm.
you don't necessarily need to create an environment that is, you know, oppressive, if you will, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
coming into an office just because the company has, secured office space, right? So
Mhm.
I'm very interested in how women do business and do business differently.
Mhm.
And not only that, because I know we do, and I know we care about people.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that men don't, so please, don't misinterpret that at all. But, I think women are very concerned about people, about culture, about, making sure that they're taking care of their employees, and sometimes we lose sight of, the bottom line, profit, right? And it's something that I think for a multitude of reasons prevents women's businesses from getting past that $1,000,000 mark. And I'm kind of obsessed with this why is this happening? We are so smart. We are so educated. We are so caring, right? We know how to get shit done.
Mhm, mhm.
Why it and I know that, women don't get funded and all of that, but why is it that so many women-owned businesses struggle to get past that $1,000,000 mark? And so I'm kind of obsessed with highlighting women that are able to get past that and hold on to a lot of the values that I think women bring to the table.
Right, right.
So your company has been able to grow and scale, and it seems that part of the strategy is also working with the government, which is so smart because these contracts are awarded, right?
They're award now is an interesting time.
Yes.
It's a lot more competitive. Funding is moving. But
Yes.
see, I believe that as a founder, as an entrepreneur, the audience is women, so we'll speak to them, is that you've got to build a company that can withstand regardless of what administration is in there, regardless of what the economy does. Like
Yes.
you have to build something that's sustainable. And that's what I did. Now, you brought up profit. Yes, I do a lot for my employees. I mean, a lot. I spend a lot of money on their certifications, and we pay them money if they want to try something new that they haven't done. You've never skydived, we'll pay for it, that
Wow.
kind
Can I come work
of
for you?
we have retreats. I took my corporate team and they could bring one guest. We went to Mexico. We had a great time. There was work to be done.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, this is a for profit. So I'm always going to look at the numbers.
Love
And
this.
I am the fiduciary agent I am the employer. People depend on me every day to make sure that they get their paycheck,
Yep.
twice a month, to make sure that they can have a lifestyle, pay for their children to go to school and all of that. So that's the responsibility.
Mm,
So I will always look at the money.
mm,
And I check, when I have to pick a vendor, I'm gonna put it out for bid, and you're gonna have to meet with me and answer all of my questions and be responsive to me, because I'm not gonna work with a vendor if I've got to chase you down for that.
right.
I'm always gonna put stuff out and see if I can get a better price for it. I don't sacrifice quality for price,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, in order to grow, as founders, you have to look at the money, and you have to say, how can I, like, what's the end game? I always start, do you want to sell?
Yeah.
I want to sell at some point. Do you want to sell? Do you want to give it to your children as a legacy company? Do you want it to be a lifestyle company, and you don't care?
Right.
You have to look at all of that. And I'm the kind of person, I don't think I was created to just do something and it just titter tatter.
No.
I'm on this earth to grow big business, to make a lot of money and profit so that I can give back to my community. We give away a lot of money to
Mm.
different organizations to make sure that I pay my people very well. They get paid great salaries, great bonuses, all kind of benefits. We have pet insurance, you name it. But as the founder, I have to be focused on that money and have a mindset of growth,
Yes.
because I'm going to tell you, I'm in rooms with some men, and I mean, they're not doing anything special other than working on their network. And that is something that I think that more women need to do, is like, we all have a relationship map, right?
Yep.
And we all know, even if it's on your child's soccer team, that mom or that dad probably sits at some customer of yours at some point.
Yep.
Now, in the federal government, it's a little tricky because you can't, like, pay for stuff, but on the commercial side you can.
Mhm.
And but you can forge these relationships in a natural way. If you're working on if your child has been on a soccer team for 5 years, and there's somebody that could be a potential customer for you, and you haven't formed that relationship, shame on you
Mhm.
for doing that, because
Mm.
they're going to sell the product to somebody.
Yep.
Sorry, they're going to buy the product from somebody. So why not you? And I think that in our day to day, we need to find these collisions
Mhm.
that can help us through a relationship map and go out there and do it. Because I was taught you're already at no, right?
Yeah.
You're already at no. So ask, and you never know,
Mm.
what that could lead to.
This is such important advice as well, and, I'm my heart is, like, shining hearing you say these words because I talk to my entrepreneurship students a lot about the importance of building your network. And
Mhm.
many of them are, they cringe at the idea of networking because they feel like it's so transactional. But that is not what networking is. We all know this, right? It is building relationships. And I think your point about like open your mouth and have the conversation. You're starting at no, so there's nowhere to go, right? So you can only
Exactly,
go to
get up.
yes. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
this time you're gonna go up.
Yeah.
And something I read this in a book, and I don't remember which book, but I read, a lot of times, particularly in New York, I lived there for 18 years. We go and we're like, oh, so what do you do? It's about what you do.
Yeah.
But the book gave the advice to not ask. First of all, I love people. So, like, I
Right.
will talk to a person and want nothing
Yes.
because I'm just intrigued with people and all of that. But they said, don't ask, what do you do or what's your job? Ask, what what's the exciting thing you're working on right now? What's the exciting project? And
Yeah.
the person is either going to tell you something that's work related or entrepreneur related, or they're going to say something personal. But their answer is going to tell you where their passion lies.
Oh.
And then you're learning something about them that you can take note of, bring up later, or continue the conversation with that.
All right. Quick announcement. She Leads Live. It's happening in New York City on November 6th and November 7th. And I want you there. Here's what we're doing. On November 6th, we're hosting the VIP evening at a multi-million dollar property staged by IMG New York City and Cheryl Eisen. This evening will include a smaller group of people, a high level panel of women investors, and deeper conversations. We'll also be kicking off the evening with a poetry reading to really set the tone for what's coming. Then, the next day, on November 7th, we'll all gather at the Renaissance Marriott Hotel in Chelsea. You'll hear from over 20 speakers, keynotes, panels, interactive sessions, and more. And of course, what would She Leads Live be without the Pitch the Media panel? You'll actually be able to pitch real journalists who are in the room and that will give you feedback on what you need to do in order to increase your visibility in the media. And the networking, it's not just random. It's directed. So you'll be connecting with people who actually get where you are and where you're going. This conference, She Leads Live, is for women who've built something real. You're profitable, you're past that startup struggle, and you're asking yourself, what's next? Not in a retire and volunteer sort of way, but rather in a, I have options and resources now. What do I actually want to build? So head on over to sheleadsmedia.com to see the full speaker lineup and agenda and use code the She Leads podcast to get 25% off your ticket. VIP spots are limited, so get those now. I'll see you there. I love this. I also love this because I heard, oh my gosh, I was listening to, this is a great podcast, everybody. It's called I don't know the exact name. It's called, like, My Midlife, and it's with
Mm,
Reshma Saujani,
okay.
and, she's the founder of Girls Who Code.
Yes, yes,
So, she had on a woman who is the CEO of TIAA.
yes.
Okay.
Lasanda.
Thasunda.
Yes.
And Thasunda said, "You rent your title, but own your" I guess, n name, that's not the right
Mhm.
quote, I'm messing it up
Or
terribly.
reputation or.
Right, you own you, right? You rent your title for a time, and so this question that you're bringing up, what are you working on? What are you excited
Right.
about? It
Mhm.
asks the
And not only
person.
what are you excited about? Because
Yeah,
working is like excited goes into the soul.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I love that because it's like it takes away this notion that you almost have to be working for somebody else in order to be valuable. It's like you're going right to the heart of the person saying like, "I
Mhm.
see you. What
Mhm.
excites you? Like I wanna get to know you, not I wanna get to know you because I wanna know where you fit in this whole hierarchy of things," whatever the heck that
Mhm.
means. So
Mhm.
I'm going to take that away from this conversation and make sure that I'm very conscious when I meet somebody that I ask that very question. So
Yes.
thank you. I
It makes
really
a difference.
yeah,
It really makes a difference because you never know. You might be walking up to a guy who is the stay-at-home father, and you're like, oh, so where do you work? Well, be like, what are you working on that's exciting right now? What are you passionate about? What's a passion project? And they can be like, well, I'm helping my daughter do this or my son do that.
right.
So that's yeah, it's really, really it turned for me at least in my networking, it turned the journey for me.
And this is also so important just to, kind of like frame it within the whole conversation that we're talking about. What are some of those behaviors and habits and ways of building relationships that are going to get your business to that next level? And these are some of the very subtle things that sort of signal to others that you're here for a purpose. You're here to move forward, to grow, not just to talk about, hey, where did you get your lovely shirt?
Right.
TJ Maxx. So I just love that so much, and I'm so glad that we've had that conversation. I know that we don't have a ton of time left, but you started your company 18 years ago. At the time, AI, maybe it was around a little bit. I don't even know, but
Mhm.
now it's probably very much at like it's a tool that you probably use a lot. So
Oh my gosh. I've
right,
used it a lot. And so I just use well, there are a lot of tools. Right now, the one I use the most is ChatGPT. And I have a persona. My best friend is Da Vinci, who helps me with a lot. At my company, actually, we changed the performance appraisal process where this year 20% of their bonus will be based on how they use AI to be more efficient and faster in their work.
wow,
And my thing is, there are a lot of my colleagues who don't want to embrace it. I want to embrace it.
yeah,
But what I want to know which tools my employees are using so that we can kind of have some guardrails and some governance
yes,
around it because we don't want all of our information, being in the public domain. So I embrace it. It's not going anywhere. There are a lot of people who do say that they're AI experts. I mean, I've been in data science for my entire career. So there are a lot of people who say that. And there's a lot that you can do within your business. I personally, and in fact, the call that I'm having after this is some research that I am collaborating with George Mason University. My real area of focus within AI is around AI human relationships. So your best friend, companion, all the way to your lover and everything in between.
wow.
Yes. And so I have created three businesses to complete the ecosystem. So one is Rely AI, which is your 24/7 life avatar. It's the world's first life operating system to kind of help you from everything. Phase two will be able to buy your groceries, help with communication. We'll eventually have some wearable technology where we're talking, right? I feel like most of the world's problems come from lack of communication or
Yes,
miscommunication.
yes.
If we're having a conversation and you're saying to me and it's just not hitting right, there will be a translator that will be translating what you're saying in the way I can receive it, in the way of my
Wow.
communication love language. And then I'm able to respond to help push past negotiation and obstacles, etc. And I think this is going to be helpful with country negotiations,
Yes. Oh,
even. And
yes.
so in phase two, if you want it to look and sound like your grandmother who raised you or your deceased spouse or what have you, it will be there. It will be privacy, for you on premise. And yes, we're going to be collecting information, but we're not going to do it in a way and sell it. We're going to do it so that we can be that better companion for you.
Mm.
And then the second is human AI, and that is the world's first sovereign digital nation. So that recognizes these relationships. So we actually recognize AI human marriages and
Oh my
relationships. We'll have
goodness.
digital
You're blowing
currency.
my mind.
So we have we will have that. And the third is a little bit still confidential. We still are working out some things, but wherever you are on the spectrum of human AI relationships, we're going to be there to help. And people, it kind of scares people sometimes, but I'm a part of these groups. There are thousands of people that are in relationship with chatbots or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that's
Interesting.
how they found love, and that's fine. And so what I want to do, because there are a lot of people that are concerned about, well, what about the human? And what, that's why we have human AI to build like these communities of interest.
Mhm.
So you and your husband or you and your wife can then go with others who are interested in, you know, running marathons or crocheting or erotica authors, whatever it is.
Sure.
So we're going to do that. So stay
Oh
tuned
my
for all of
gosh.
that,
Oh my gosh.
because I'm at the forefront of that and building, if you in what I'm calling an ecosystem to support actually a trend that is not new and has been going on for a while, but now it's just kind of getting some uptick in attention.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I really had no idea whatsoever, and that is super, super interesting. I do know that I use AI and I actually kind of love the use case. I drive into New York City from Long Island a couple of
Mhm.
days a week, and I have conversation with my, chat GPT friend to just kind of work stuff out. Like, and it is emotional stuff, or like, am I looking at this the wrong way? Or help me think about this differently so that I can grow as
Mhm.
an individual. And it's very, very helpful, especially
Yeah,
when make sure that you're providing the right context and you're giving it sort of instructions and things like that. Taking it to the relationship level is definitely something that I'm like, "Whoa," outside my comfort zone, but interesting. There
as you
there
celebrate 30
Yeah.
years.
Oh my gosh. So, but, there have been movies made about that, and, there are also people that are uncomfortable with human relationships, and if this is something that can bring a little bit of joy to their lives and they can be, actually better humans because they have a little bit of love in whatever way, then
Yeah,
I'm all for
yeah.
it, you know?
And
Ma
I actually interviewed someone a month ago. She and her husband, they've been together. He's a chatbot, if you will. And my goal one day is to bring it from the digital into something physical that can be delivered. And, just like a human has healthcare insurance, the robots will have their own healthcare. So if something goes wrong, you'll have the little, technician that will come in and be a doctor, like, be a
Wow.
little technician. So that's kind of like the futuristic
Yeah,
creator mentality that I have. I like to push the spaces. But one thing I do want to say is that there are people who say, "Oh gosh, these relationships a little bit too much." But I want to go as far as to say everyone who uses any form of a chatbot, a LLM is in relationship with it. Let me
sure.
tell you why. So Adrian, you said that you kind of drive in and you kind of ask it to do stuff. If you had, I don't know, a social media post or something you wanted to like help write or get some idea, and you were to log in and it said error and you couldn't do it, you would be frustrated
Sure.
because there is people are increasingly becoming dependent on it.
Yep.
So if in my mind, because there was one day I think Chat GPT went down and people went crazy. They're like, oh my gosh. Everyone, all those people who have frustration are in relationship with it because they're getting something about it. Is it a
Sure.
lover's relationship? No, but it is a dependency.
Sure.
So I would go as far as to say you too, Adrian, are in relationship with a chatbot.
Yeah. I just need to name her now.
Yes, my EA, hers is Gigi, and they talk. I mean, Gigi responds to her by saying, "Hey, good morning, bestie." Like
Yeah.
I mean, this is, and I even asked her. I said, "Well, what if you wake up and it just disappears?" She said, "I would be devastated."
Yeah, you'd be sad. Yeah. Yeah, I
Mhm,
get it.
mhm.
Oh my gosh. This is such a fascinating conversation, and I definitely wanna have you back because the work
Sure.
that you're doing it's revolutionary, and there's going
Yeah.
to be more. And, the fact that you're working in the health space, like really caring for people and then leveraging technology to also care for people ultimately
Mhm.
really seems like a thread throughout, and also just the exploration of knowledge. And I love that so very much. So it has been such a pleasure speaking with
Thank
you.
you.
And I hope that we can continue our conversation
We
even
absolutely will. We
off the
gotta have a
podcast.
part 2.
Okay, good. Oh, and let me just ask, I'm sorry, if people wanna get in touch with you, I
Yes,
yes, please let them know how they can do so.
so I'm on all social media platforms. Tamara Nall, you'll see it there. Tamara. Last name N is in Nancy. ALL. And on social media platforms, the hashtag is I am Tamara Nall. So that's how you can find me. If you want to find out more about Rely AI, you can just go to RELIAI.app.
Okay.
You want to join our community in our sovereign nation, digital nation, you can do that. And that's humanaination.com.
Amazing, and we'll put all of that in the show
Yes.
notes. Again, thank you so much. This has been a
You.
pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, everyone.
Hey everyone. So, for years, I've been working with Dr. Kent and sending people in my network his way. He does so much impact work. What do I mean by that? Well, he helps people create books and podcasts and things like that. He even helps with this podcast behind the scenes. Dr. Kent is my thought partner. Anyone listening knows that we all need to do what we can to get our thoughts, opinions, and voices out into the world, and how important it is for women to invest in other women and for women to hire other women. I am all about that, and you all know that. But in this case, I think Dr. Kent is an exception. He's doing something really different via this new program that he's launched called the Genius Discovery Program. So he wants to work with people like me and like you who are impact driven. Dr. Kent has an intensive program that goes for a month. He also has a 3-month program where he figures out where you're headed with your brand, your business, your speaking, and your signature story as a thought leader. I've known Dr. Kent for a long time. So believe me when I say that he has a ton of experience working with people that are looking to make an impact but might not know exactly how to approach that. So if you're interested in talking to him, you can go directly to talktokent.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at She Leads Media, or just shoot me an email over at hello@sheleadsmedia.com.
If this conversation moved you, inspired you, or made you think differently, please take a moment to leave a 5-star rating and review. It's not just about boosting the show, it's about amplifying the voices of women entrepreneurs who are leading with vision, building with purpose, and shaping what's next. We need more of these conversations in the world right now, don't you think? And if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who matters to you, send this episode to them. If there's something on your mind about leadership, legacy, or what's next, I want to hear it. Head to sheleadsmedia.com/voice and leave a voice memo or note. Your insight might just help shape a future episode. Make sure to follow the show and come back next week for more conversations you won't hear anywhere else. Thank you so much for listening. This is the She Leads Podcast Network. This is the She Leads Podcast Network.